never been my thing. So Teddy, pass the word to your nigga Chauncey.
And on Steppin, Marcus J. Thank you to everybody that listened to us tonight. About to close out the show. We got our rants and we got our closings coming up right now. Before we do that, I want to go ahead and get my thank yous out of the way. I want to thank Hakeem, always listening, always sending us notes, always giving us some knowledge. We appreciate
laughing at y'all because y'all are in tears. Your baby grown up. I remember her yesterday. I'm tired of that. Be happy that your kid is successful. They're out the house, and you get to find out what your life is like again because they're gone for a good period of time. And you got to worry about them. They technically are still your responsibility. Tony over here giving the thumbs down. She know her baby be gone in about another 5 years. She gonna be upset, crying like the rest of them. You know, she already upset. You a freshman in high school yet? What are you? 8th grade?
8th grade.
8th grade. Oh, you got 4 more years. 4 more years of coddling and nurturing. I'm gonna see you now. You as bad as my wife. When the boy dropped off at pre-K, she was in tears. No, baby. Man, get out my house. I was asking, could he do a stop, drop, and roll out the car? I didn't want to stop the car. For real. I couldn't even let her walk me into class.
My son actually likes me.
I'm not saying nobody. I know a lot of people like you. I mean, you know, my son adores me. Hey, I got proof. He looked just like me. So, on that note, that's my little corner of the day. Appreciate being here. Sorry I'm late. Had some business to take care of. Y'all got some money out there I can get. Help me out. I ain't win the big game the other night, 300-some million. Only one person won that joint. I'm kind of mad at him. I can't be mad. Just mad I ain't get the right numbers.
Tony, we appreciate you being here with us. You want to say any closing words you want to share with us before we shut it down?
Just want to thank you guys again for having me here. It's been a pleasure. Love the show. Keep doing what you do. And have a great night.
Appreciate it. Mama J is in the building. And Mama J has some words that she wants to share. Mama J's moment. What you got, little baby girl?
Just one thing.
Alright, what you got?
Please be careful on the road. I'm saying this because recently my friend was in a car accident and is very badly hurt. What I'm saying is be careful on the road. Don't go too fast and don't go too slow for kids and parents' safety and really everybody's safety. And that's what I have to say. That ain't got nothing to do with what we talking about today.
That's my girl right there. I love her right now. Don't you say a word, Carlton Banks. If you say anything, you better say it better be nice.
Mrs. J, I'm sorry. I love you, nice. Mrs. J. Mrs. J, I'm so sorry. That's all I can say.
I'm about to say, because if you got something to say, it better be nice.
It's going to be nothing about what we talking about.
I'm watching you. I'm watching you. All right. Everybody's got their opportunity to go around the room. Now it's time for Big Rube to do what he do. We call it the Smash.
It's Big Rube, Smash. I'm glad to be back here after a week of not being here. You know, every day in life you run into a whole bunch of people who don't make any sense, but more importantly are just pure ignorant. The dumbest things that just come out of their mouth, it makes absolutely positively no sense. And you know what? The people who are quote-unquote smarter than everybody else seem to do it more than not. Representative Todd Aint last week came out and said, quote, if it's a legitimate rape, the female body has ways to try to shut that whole thing down, unquote. That could possibly, you know what? If I'm Joe Biden right now, after my comment about change in probably a state where he shouldn't have said change at, that is probably, he just got off the hook. Because this is actually the dumbest thing that's probably been said in politics at least in 2 years. At least in 2 years. He apologized today for the remark and said he was, quote, not a quitter, unquote. Hold on. You just said that legitimate rape is, first of all, legitimate rape, you put those two together, and then you're running for a Senate seat, and you're not going to quit. Well, you ain't got to worry about not quitting, because I'm guaranteed you ain't going to make it. But let's just be honest, people. Even us on this show, when you have the ability to put your opinion out to the masses, there is a responsibility that you must have. And if you choose not to take that responsibility, then you're stupid. And if you choose to abuse that responsibility, you're even dumber. And then just completely ignore it. You just need to be slapped in the face. You know, we talked about Chad Johnson, quote unquote, headbutting his soon to be ex-wife. Somebody should have came up and headbutted this dude. And you know what? I probably would have gave him $20 if he did so. This is possibly the stupidest thing that we have heard in this election, knowing full well this has nothing to do with the presidential election. But, ladies and gentlemen, he is a Republican. You take that for what it is. All I'm saying is, if you want people to vote for you, let's just be intelligent. Don't say stupid things, such as something would change in a slave state and legitimate rape. Biden messed up. He has apologized, but he shouldn't have said it. Yes, Biden's old, but he still shouldn't have said it. Legitimate rape? Yeah, thanks for bailing Biden out. I'm pretty sure nobody's going to remember that come the election. It's Big Rube. It's a smash. Go vote. Go register to vote. At the very least, regardless of who you vote for, you need to put your word out there. Because if you don't put your word out there, then you can't complain. I'm out.
Thank you, Big Room. Appreciate it. Want to go ahead and end the show as we do every single week with my moment. I appreciate it. Sorry to everybody who was waiting to listen to What the Hell tonight. We got very much caught up in the end of the tune and lube. It was something that we needed to stay with because it was very important. We'll get back to What the Hell at a later time. Some of the stories that we were going to get into, some may be still relevant, some may not. But, hey, look, we really need to get into the education because the kids come first. So we appreciate that. I want to thank everybody in the room once again for being here. I'm going to go ahead and get into my moment. I love my friends because they bring so much to me, so much to my consciousness, so much to my understanding week after week, especially with the social climate the way it is. Many people of different races and religions and political affiliations find themselves often at odds with those that they call their friends. You may say something perceived as offensive, but your perspective leads you to feel that way. You may hear something questionable that may make you want to speak out against those who feel the same way as the person who made those comments. It's difficult to me because the older I get, the more I truly believe that I don't have to be an enemy to you to be an ally to me. Men in this country think that if you're pro-you, you have to be con them. You get some folks in other cultures who have issues with BET, Black Entertainment Television. Hey, look, there's some people in this room that got issues with BET. But the prevailing argument is that it's unnecessary in a world where we live as equals. I must respectfully remind folks that feel that way in a country that has over 500 years of history. About 350 of those years saw the minorities in this country in servitude to the majority. The next 100 years in fear of reprisal, and only the last 50 or so in true freedom as written in the Constitution. You know, the part of the Constitution that says all men are created equal. Well, someone forgot to tell some folks because all men, and women for that matter, haven't been created or treated equally. So when I have conversations with people who see me as a conspiracy theorist, a race baiter, or even a demagogue, I must remind them that while I may be, I'm only against those who are against me. For those who would like to have an honest dialogue about the facts, I'll happily engage with them. To those who show fear in discussing such things out of fear, hurt feelings, and emotionally charged exchanges, I shall happily limit our conversations to Survivor, The Young and the Restless, and Monday Night Football. I had a friend tell me recently that she was surprised at me because of some of the things I said recently. My friend's a white female Republican, and of course I'm a black male independent. I openly accused some of their ranks of race baiting and using racially charged language. My friend had never heard me speak in such a way and was offended because as a true, fair-minded Republican, as she put it, and I'm paraphrasing, she did not feel it was appropriate that she be lumped in with the group that I targeted with my rhetoric. I reminded her that as an independent, I reserve the right to speak out on the nonsense that I see from both sides, Republican and Democrat, and that while there is good on both sides, there's also a sinister side to both. But I guess that's just the conspiracy theorist in me. The point I tried to make to her was that I don't have to be an enemy to her to be an ally to me. And I always speak my piece, fairly but accurately. We shouldn't be afraid to talk. We shouldn't be afraid to engage in fair, honest dialogue, devoid of emotion, so that we can try to understand each other. Your perspective may be different from mine, but neither is more important or more powerful. But then that takes us back to that cultural conditioning that I like to talk about. They would rather see us emotional and at odds than rational and working together, divide and conquer. Maybe the oldest strategy of war. It's funny how this country was founded by rich, powerful people who sought to keep their wealth and power intact while adding to their wealth at the expense of the people they're supposed to serve. I heard on the radio today that this year's election cycle will see the candidates spend over $1 billion between them to tell us how they'll create jobs, maintain Medicare, keep the country safe. Yeah, they're going to spend $1 billion to reach those who barely own $100,000. Poor people fighting over which rich, powerful people you want to so-called lead you. It's funny how the more things change, the more they stay the same. Maybe we are the allies and they are the enemies. That's the Murph. Marcus' unrelated rant that ain't got nothing to do with what we're talking about here today. That's the end of the show. Gonna leave it there. As we say here every week, Big Reed alluded to it a few minutes ago, but you need to get out and vote. As we say every single week here on Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J. At this point of the show, voter suppression is real talk. They're already telling you in the Republican Party that they trying to suppress your vote. That's not me being a Democrat. That's me being an independent that's keeping it real, because I saw it come from the man's mouth. Florida Congressman, look it up. I want to say peace to all the stars and the squares. In the abundance of water, the fool is thirsty. Those are the words of Bob Marley. Ain't no half stepping, Marcus J. We'll be back next week. Peace.